Hello, welcome to the Elevate Your Wellbeing podcast. We're on episode 48, and today I want to dive into get around those that support you. So, if you have been suffering with boundary issues or burnout issues, if you are really finding that life is having that impact on your relationships, or that you don't necessarily have people around you that understand what it is that you're striving for or what you're creating or what you wanted to change, because like I said last week, learning and growing, having that mindset of being open to learning and growing, personal development, personal growth, self-improvement, this is a way of life, because we are always learning and growing about ourselves. It's not like this is who I am and that's it. There's things that come up, and there's things that we can control and things that we can't control. And sometimes we're on a trajectory of change that has nothing to do with the people around us. So they just don't understand it. But there are people around you who can understand it, who can get what you're going through, who can understand that and really support you and keep you accountable. But they might not be in your direct sphere of people, that inner circle. So it's looking around you for where you can connect to people that really get you, get around those that support you, get around those that understand you. And I posted, as I'm recording this, I will say recently, on my Instagram. I might actually link in the reel, because it really landed. Like, so many people, like, for me, this went viral. So many people really just got it. And I'm just going to read what I wrote, which is, your vibe attracts your tribe. Cheesy, used a lot. Yeah, I know, but it really resonates. You are who you hang out with as well. And I see this a lot. There's a couple of people I follow on Instagram, and they share this message on repeat. Like, if you hang around with 5 smokers, you'll be the 5th or the 6th. Clearly can't count. If you hang around with 5 smokers, you'll be the 6th. If you hang around with 5 people who really understand their boundaries, are strong at saying no when they need to say no, you'll be the 6th. If you hang around with people who really understand their health and their well-being and prioritize it, you'll be the 6th. So you are who you hang with. The people you surround yourself with can either lift you up or drag you down. And it's even harder when it's people you didn't choose, like family or those you work with. Plus, as humans, we crave connection. So sometimes we make do with those directly around us simply because we want to fit in. Yet this can be a slow death. Yes, I'm being dramatic, but hear me out. When I was in college, I soon realized I wasn't wanting the same thing as those I was in class with. I wasn't interested in the TV shows they watched or hanging out in the pub. Early on, I knew I had a love for well-being and the environment, but I let the need to fit in squash my true passion. I felt miserable, and I can tell that was the vibe I was letting off. They were lovely people, just not my people, and I had to change who I hung out with to change the vibe I was giving out. So for me, I started studying Reiki and ran environmental groups. I even gave talks at local schools about whales and dolphins for a charity organization that I had followed for years. And this little shift had a huge ripple effect on my life and my well-being. And if you are struggling to feel good in your body, to get the motivation to improve your diet or develop yourself as a person, take a look at the people you hang out with. Are they enjoying what you crave for yourself? Do they eat healthy? Do they laugh daily? Do they move their bodies? If no, then get around the people who do the things you want to do. Be supported by those that have what you have. Not sure where to find these people? Well, that's what I was highlighting in my post, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So get around those that support you, and having that community, having those people that really understand what you're going through and what you're wanting to create is really important. And this is all about taking advice from people who have what you have or want what you want. Because if you're going to ask someone who's a smoker, like, how do I quit smoking? You're not going to get the answer, because they'll be like, oh, it doesn't work. I've tried a million times and here I am still smoking. You're not going to get the advice you want from the person who hasn't got it. So if you want to start a business, for example, and you're asking say, your mum's advice or your partner's advice, have they ever run a business? Because if they haven't, they're not the person to go to. You might really respect them. They might be really close to you because of who they are in your family. But if they haven't experienced what you're wanting to create, they are not the best person to get that advice from. And the same goes for anything in life. Get around the people who want the same things that you do so you can be supported and really be lifted up rather than dragged down. So on this episode, I really want to highlight that if you are enjoying these podcast episodes, you can get more from me if you join my free Facebook community group. And I will link it in the show notes. This is open to anyone who is wanting to go through that well-being journey, that self-improvement, that personal development, that personal growth, and be supported. It's completely free, just like this podcast. And it's something that I really love doing. So what I do in the community every Monday, as of recording this podcast, this is when I go live every Monday. It's currently at 4:30 UK time. 4:30. Oh my God. 2:30. It's at 2:30. Who knows? Maybe that's where it's going, 4:30. That's because I said it. But at the moment, it's on a Monday afternoon at 2:30 UK time. And I go live for about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's around the same amount of time as I'm live on this podcast, recording a podcast episode. So again, I'm aiming at that 1% of your day. So it doesn't take up a lot of your time. But it's an opportunity for you to connect with me further. You can ask me questions. I go into topics very similar like I do on the podcast, but it's a lot easier for you then to interact with other people that are going through these tools and going through these little trainings that I do every week on these tips, tricks, and hacks that you can do for yourself around your well-being and your mindset. If you can't join live, I do put up a little reminder the day before so you can ask questions. So I'm like, tomorrow I'm going live. I'm going to be going into this topic. Let me know your questions. So if you can't join live, I can have a look at this post when I go live and see if there are any questions so I can answer them during the live. You can also comment after I've gone live. So if you're watching it, if I go live on the Monday, but you're watching it on a Friday, then you can still comment on the video and then I'll get notified of that. And then I will sit down when I have a chance, which I have in my diary, like this is the time I'm going to go through any comments, and then I can answer those for you as well. And there have been times that it was actually easier for me to do a very quick go live and answer the questions rather than write out a really long post. So you might even get a personalized response from me in that sense. So I absolutely love running this community. I originally set up the Facebook group when I was running in my yoga studio, and it was to keep that community. The whole idea of having that group was for the community. And then in 2020, I closed down the studio, but the group was still there. And then I was like, I really want to do something with that community space. I really want to ignite it and really sort of stay in contact with the people who are in the group. If it's something that they want to continue, amazing. But obviously there was that slight shift from it being 100% yoga to then being about well-being. So it's actually looking at a broader aspect of it. It's that holistic lifestyle. So a lot of people have continued to stay in the community and are enjoying that sort of igniting it. And that's what's been going on for the past 3 months. So I really want to highlight that there is that space there that you can really utilize. So yes, I know not everyone's on Facebook, not everyone likes the social media aspect of it, but if it's something that you would like to get more out of, if you're not quite ready yet for coaching with me one-on-one, then that's the next step opportunity to really connect and then have this community around you. So if that is something that you're interested in, check out the show notes because the link is in there. Obviously, you've just got to answer a couple of questions, join. But it is a really beautiful space to be in. And like I said, it's open for everyone. So honor where you're at. Sometimes that we're in that burnout because we don't have that opportunity to connect to people. So we're like, if I build this and really focus on this area of my life, then I could honor the slowing down because maybe you don't have the people around you that understand quite what you need. And this might be that community that will really help to support you and help you create a little bit more of a balance in your life as well. So I'm going to keep this episode relatively short and sweet. I think it's quite short for me. I think it's probably around the 10-minute mark, if I looked at the time properly, but who knows, considering I've been saying numbers completely wrong in this episode, and I'm going to keep it as it is because, I really want to highlight that, get it done. Perfect isn't a thing that happens, put yourself out there. And I really want to lead by example with that. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this nice and short and sweet, but I really hope that if you are enjoying this podcast, one, thank you very much for continuing to listen. Please do share the podcast because obviously the more people that can really benefit from it, the better. And then, yeah, come in and join the community in Facebook. And again, share the community. And it is a place that I would really love to build that network of support. So it's all about honoring that we're not on this journey alone. We shouldn't have to do it alone, and there's lots of different ways that you can be supported. And if you would like to take it up that little extra notch from listening to the podcast, then come and join me in the Elevate Your Wellbeing community on our Facebook group. So from there, I am going to leave you this week, and I look forward to diving in with some more topics that can help you elevate your wellbeing next week.